Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Delaware Studios. This is Android programming. We'll be looking at the age calculator, in which we're going to create an application whereby we're going to calculate the age of the user based on the inputs in the calendar, in which we'll be talking about the date speaker and also the date dialog. So, without much ado, let's move straight to Android Studio, where we'll be developing this application. We'll be looking thoroughly on how the application is being developed and how to actually implement different dates, calendar functionality in your application. All right, I'll be first of all talking about the layout, which is the activity main, the launcher activity. It's a relative layout with layout width and height match parents. If you can notice this is the display of the layout. We have a button immediately after the inside the relative layout. That's an ID of button 1, the layout with an height wrap content. There is a line parent to the left, okay, while we align parents to the right as well, and also to the top. Okay, the text on the button is date of birth. You can see it over here. All right, there's a text view followed, which we assign an ID of text view 1, wrap content for the width and height. The align parent left is true. Now it's just going to sit below the button 1, which is the first button, the date of birth. All right, the text is going to carry current date. Okay, there's a text view as well after that, which we assign the ID of text view 2, which is the second text view. All right, the wrap content is assigned to the width and the height layout. Okay, it's going to sit below the first text view, which you can see right here, and it's going to carry a text called birth date. All right, we have the third one, the text view, which we assign text view 1, text view 3. Okay, it's wrap content, the width and height. Also, it's going to sit below the text view 2, which you can notice after here, which we assign the text of result. Now we'll be using these IDs and we'll be calling it in the Java classes, so that we can assign some listener suites. Okay, I'll be moving straight to our Java class, where we'll first of all talk about the main activity, which is the launcher activity. All right, we import some stuff: date speaker dialog, the view on click listener, I brought in the date speaker, and also a toast. All right. We have the main activity that extends activity and implements on click listener, so that we're going to listen to some button click here. We actually declared some private fields, the button, btn start, a final integer, date start, dialog ID, we assign 0 to it. So we have a field called start year. This is just going to, there must be a start year, which is 1970. Okay, there's also start month. From which month are we starting, which is 6. There's start day, which is 15. So this is just going to be the first, like the default date pick. Okay, there's the age calculation where we're saying age, which is null. Okay, we call on the text view which we assign current date. We call on the birth date, which is the text view data type, and also the result. We'll be using all these fields in the course of the application. Okay, we have an onCreate method where we call on the super onCreate. We set the content view to the layout of the activity main. I explained just before now. Now we assign the age. We associate the age with the age calculation Java class. Okay, and we assign an object of age. Okay, created an object from the age calculation Java class, which we'll be talking about after this one. Okay, we cast on the text view to the ID of the text view 1. We give it the current date. Okay, and also we set the text, which is the current date, which is in the format, which is date, month, and year. All right, we concatenate it with the age based on the current date we got. This is a method which we'll be talking about afterwards. Current date. Okay, we did the same thing with the birth date, where we assign the ID view 2 to it. Now the same thing to result, which is view 3. There is a button start, where we call on the view by ID, the button 1 we talked about in the layout, Now we set an on-click listener to this button. So what is this button going to do? All right. There's a protected dialog that picks up an ID, which is an integer. So there's a switch. Is a switch statement whereby the ID is passed as a parameter. So we test on the case, which is the date starts dialog ID, which is going to test for that. So it returns and instantiate the new date picker dialog, which is this keyword, with the mdate set listener, the start year, the start month, and the start day. So it returns null. All right. Let's just keep flowing gradually. We have a date picker dialog, which calls on date set listener, and we assign the mdate set listener to it. Okay. Whereby we're going to start the year, we assign it to the selected year. Same thing, the start month, we assign it to the selected month. Well, and also the day, we assign it to selected day. We call on this age private field, we set the date of birth. Okay, this is another method as well, which we'll be talking either in the age calculation, where we pick up the start year, the start month, the start day as its parameters. Now we call on the birth date field, we declared it earlier over here, the birth date, is it, the text field rather. Now we set the text, which is the birth, the date of birth, date, month, and year. Okay, this is based on the date of birth, which calls on the date dialog or the date picker dialog. Now we concatenate it with the selected day, concatenate it with a 2 dots, also with the start month plus 1, which is additional 1, with the start year. All right, we calculate the age method. These methods, we've mentioned some methods here which are not present in the main activity. We'll file them in the age calculation. Just don't want you to forget what we are doing when we get there. Okay, we have on click view, which is we're going to switch. This is auto generated, so you shouldn't take too much cognizance with it. If you notice this calculate age method, this is over here. So what's going to do, because on the age and the calculate year method, the calculate month method, and also the calculate day method, which there will be a toast that okay, the click the resulted button is going to call on the age results, which is this. We're going to call get results. We're going to talk about this get result in the age calculation Java class. Okay, so the result is going to set the text as a text which is like cut age, and we're going to concatenate it with the result passed from based on the age. Okay, let's quickly look at the age calculation so that you can understand some methods that you find in the main activity which are not present there. Okay, now we imported java.util.calendar, whereby we have a class called age calculation. So now we declared a lot of fields: the start year, the start month, the start day, and notice we are calling them the end year, the end month, end day, the rest year, the rest month, day, and also we call on the private calendar start and the private calendar end. Now we have a method called get current date. Okay, it's going to get the current date. We assign the calendar, which is from the calendar util, the calendar class. We get the instance of the calendar, we pass it on to the end variable. Now in this end variable, we get the calendar year as well, and we pass it on to the end year. Now we get the month, we pass it on to the end month, and we iterate with +1, that's plus to the end month. So we get the day of month, that is day of month from the calendar library, day of month, we pass it to the end day. Now we have to return some value because it is not a void method. So we return the end day, which is the value of the calendar day of month. We concatenate it with dots. I will also concatenate it with the end month, which is based on the calendar month, and the end year based on the calendar year. Okay, that's That's straightforward. Okay, we'll be talking about the set date of birth. Okay, the set date of birth. Okay, this is a method that has three parameters: the S year, the S month, and the S day. They are all the integer data type. Okay, we have the variable we declared up there, the start year, where we pass the S year. Okay, the value of the S year. Also for the value of the S month, and we have to iterate with one with the start month, and also we pass the value of S day based on the parameters gotten, and we assign it to the variable start day. Okay, we have for the calculate here. Okay, if you notice, this is the calculate year method. It's going to calculate for the year. So we pass the end year minus the start year. That's the end of the year minus the start of the year. So that's going to actually let us get the calculation of the year in particular. Okay, because we're going to do some kind of arithmetic here. We have to deduct from the age imputed with the current state, so that we can be able to get the full year of the person. Now we're going to calculate the month. Okay, there's an if statement here. If the end month is greater than or equals to the start month, okay, if the end month is greater than or equal to start month, now we're going to pass some value into the S month, which is going to be the end month. We're going to minus it from the start month, so that's going to be the value of that particular month. Else, that is if this parameter, the comparison is not met. So we're going to pass in the rest month. We're going to pass in the end month minus the start month to the rest month, and also we're going to add 12 to the rest month. Thereby, with this process, we'll be deducting from the rest year. With a minus, we'll be deducting 1 from each year to actually get that value, based on if end month is not greater than or equals to start month. Okay. Now let's look for the calculate day. So the same thing we're going to do for day, just the way we do for month. If the end day is greater than or equals to start date, we're going to minus end day from start day, pass it to rest day. Else, we're still going to minus end day from start day, but based on 30 now. That means we're going to add 30 with the rest day. So this is a nested if statement, and if in an else statement. So if the rest month is equals to 7, the rest month is going to be 11. Okay, and the rest month minus that is going to be deducted by 1. Else, the rest month, the rest year rather, will be minus, else the rest month is going to be deducted by 1. These are just mere permutation to actually get the correct value. So now there's a method very important, the get result, which we use in our main activity. The get result. This is where we actually added the method to the string, so that is going to populate the actual age of the user. So this is going to actually return the rest year, the year in question, plus years. This is just a string, but this rest year is very important. This is the year being deducted, which is going to be the actual year of the person or the user. Okay. Now we have a long data type method called get seconds. This is where we call on the get start of the calendar. We pass it to start. We also set the calendar year based on the start year to start. We have the month. We have the day of month. We have the hour, which is 12. We have the minute, which is 30. We have the second, which is 30. We have for the millisecond, we have 30. Okay, and we have for the get time in millis, that's in milliseconds method, which is from the calendar library. We also have for get time in milliseconds, which is we have the end and the start, which is part of the long old, and also the long difference. I'm going to make a difference, which is from the old minus the now, which is the end and the start. So we're going to return the difference divided by 1/10,000, divided by, so we have to get it in seconds. That's just this division there. Okay, without much analysis, we're able to develop a sort of age calculation whereby you get to impute your age based on the day, the month, the year, and it's going to just like deduct it from the current year and get the value of your years. Okay, let me run this in my Geomotion emulator so that we're going to test it out and see it. Okay, I'm going to run it and launch it in my Geomotion emulator. Okay, click on my run button. Okay, bring this up to build up. Okay, that's successfully built. So I launch it on. Keep my Geomotion emulator. So let me bring my Geomotion to foreground so that we could be able to test this application. So I will impute a date, birth date. Okay. The current date as at recording is 3/5/2016. That's the 3rd of May 2016. That's fine. So click on my date of birth. Okay, I have the date dialog with the date picker. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to. Okay, let me go to 7. On 7/28. Made at 28. Okay, April. April 28, 1987. So click on done. If you notice this, the current date 3/5/2016. Okay, the date of birth 28/4/1987. That's 28th of April 1987. Now look at the age. You have 29 years. If you make your calculation, this is April and this is May, so it's actually 29. So even if it's probably I change this to like 6th, so I'm still going to maintain probably 28. You know, let me just do that so that you'll be able to see that. Okay, I'm not yet. Let me add one more month to this, which will be May. Okay, fine. What happens? You notice this 28. You know, the result button, which is the toast, is 20 years. That means you are yet to clock 29. So that's fine. You know, this is smooth and easy. You know, you can also incorporate the age dialog, the date picker dialog. You know, if you actually don't really want to do some calculation using the if and if else statement. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I hope you understood one or two things. You can find my source code in my GitHub account, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I love you all. Bye bye.